Hi guys, Alex here. Just wanted to talk to you about staying on track during these crazy times. This is a video that's going to be for anyone who's having trouble with cravings or they just find themselves with no real direction with their nutrition. So you got to start with the basics. You're going to want to consume a diet high in protein and high in fiber. Now in terms of protein, you want about 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I weigh 205 pounds. I want about 205 grams of protein per day. Protein is going to help keep you full. It's going to help repair muscle so you recover better from exercise. And we tend to see that those who eat a higher protein diet are typically leaner than those who don't. And a lot of us have that goal of being lean. Now for fiber, we want at least 30 grams per day or more. You probably don't want to go much past like 60 or 70, but there are individuals who do that and do just fine. But make sure you're getting at least 30 to 35 grams per day. That's obviously going to help keep you full and keep you feeling good as well. The next thing to focus on would be portion control. There's a few different ways to go about this. You could weigh every single food you eat, or you could weigh a few things and get a general idea of how much you're consuming. You could track these things in an app like MyFitnessPal or others, there's many of them out there, or you can write them down in a notebook and kind of go from there. But there should be some portion control. Everyone's going to be different, so you're going to have to kind of play around with things to decide what's right for you. Another basic, I think very simple one, is going to be our water intake. You probably want around 1 gallon per day. It's a very general recommendation. Drink a bottle every 2 hours, something like that. I think a lot of us already know this tip, but if you're not doing it already, you want to increase your water intake to help keep you full and feeling great. With that, you probably want to reduce your calories taken in from other liquids. So, no juices, cutting out milk and that sort of thing, a high calorie beverage, pops, and then also alcohol. That's going to be a really great way to cut down on liquid calories. The issue with liquid calories is typically they don't keep us very full. Now that's not always true, but for the most part, we tend to consume them and not feel much more full. So a better option would be something like a fruit or a veggie or a high fiber or protein food. Kind of the last thing for basics, I think you should have your meals spaced evenly throughout the day. Now not everyone can do this or not everyone is successful with this, but I think most people will do better at controlling hunger if they eat evenly spaced throughout the day. So you could eat when you wake up, you could eat 3 to 4 hours later, eat 3 to 4 hours later, and then you could eat before bed. Now that's a fine option. I would also have a meal schedule and kind of have yourself follow that. So you could eat at 6 a.m., then you could eat at 10 a.m., then 2, 6 p.m., done. And you can kind of hold yourself accountable by eating only at those times when your meals are scheduled. So a few real life tips, things that I use to help me stay on track during these times when maybe I'm at home more, maybe I'm bored more because I can't go out and do as many things like I used to. But there's a few different things. Number one is don't purchase foods that don't fit your goals. So say my goal is to maintain body weight, or maybe my goal is even to lose body weight. I don't want to go out and buy really high calorie, low density foods like ice cream, or like I talked about, liquid calories, donuts, chips, those sorts of things. Now, if I don't buy them, then I can't consume them. So that is a really good strategy. A lot of people share the house with someone else, or maybe they share the house with kids, and they like certain treats and certain snacks. If you find yourself in that situation, I would do your best, maybe find a compromise and ask if they could put those things out of sight. Now, the more frequently we see a really tasty food, food we've maybe had a relationship with, like we really love that food, if we don't see it as much, your cravings will not spike as if every time you open the fridge, it's just there right in your face. So that's a really good option. I think it's a fair compromise for if you're sharing the house with someone else. Just kind of put those foods out of sight so you're not thinking about them all the time. Personally, I think meal prepping is very important. I need foods to be convenient and ready to go. Typically, I find myself reaching for those not so healthy foods or those high calorie foods when I don't have something ready to go. You know, it's a lot easier for me to just swing through the drive-through or grab something quick and easy. Typically, those things are not going to fit with my goal. So if I prep all my meals beforehand, maybe I just do it the night before, maybe I do all my meals on one day of the weekend, I find that that is a lot more successful for myself. Once you guys have tried those strategies out, you've nailed the basics, there's still gonna be times where you have cravings. Maybe it is truly increased hunger. Maybe otherwise it's some sort of social thing or cultural thing when it's a holiday, you really wanna eat really yummy things, or maybe you're just stressed out and you wanna eat things that make you feel good. To kind of help work through those cravings, I use a few different things. I like to start with water, so drink that, and maybe the cravings go away. Low calorie juices, I have cran grape here, 5 calories per cup. Excellent, it tastes good, it looks like juice, and sometimes that will be enough. I also drink a lot of flavored water. I talked about the importance of drinking water. I don't like the taste of water, sounds weird, but this stuff really helps me get more water into my diet. From there, you might consume a veggie, so a salad is typically what I go for. It's one of my all-time favorite salad dressings. It's the Olive Garden light dressing. Only 2 grams of fat per 2 tablespoons. This is probably one of the best finds I've ever discovered. So maybe try that out if you're having a salad to help keep you full. Instead of covering it in 15 grams of fat, you could find 2 grams of fat, and I think it tastes really good. There's lots of other low-fat options. Typically the low-fat salad dressings are going to be a healthy choice. If that doesn't work, I like to use a piece of fruit. Now fruit certainly have calories and carbohydrates, but they also have fiber and they tend to keep us more full than something else like a brownie or a cookie. So I like apples, I eat a lot of them. Bananas, oranges, I always have those things on hand. Here's the typical amount of fruit I'll eat throughout the week. It is a lot. I really enjoy fruit, it keeps me full. It's something I'm always going to continue doing as there's plenty of health benefits. I would say I eat all of this except for maybe 5 bananas. Sheena eats those throughout the week, and then I eat everything else. So this is what I've been doing for the last couple months now, and I've really enjoyed it. From there, there's a few different options. You could chew gum. I know that works for some people. There's a few different strategies just to try. Again, water, veggies, fruit. You could chew gum, you could brush your teeth. And then one thing is to try to avoid boredom as best as you can. So maybe you're feeling really hungry. Instead of going and grabbing that quick, easy treat, you could go for a 10 to 15 minute walk and see if that changes your mind about your hunger. So I hope some of those strategies work for you guys. In terms of my exact routine, I just like to share that with you. I might have a different lifestyle than you do. I might have a different workout schedule. I might have a different type of job. But just kind of go over what I do. Every Friday, I'll start kind of planning meals. My wife and I will come up with a few different ideas and decide what we want to eat for the week. Friday night, we go grocery shopping. It seems like a really weird time to go, but no one else is there. So you can get through pretty quickly and get everything you need. Saturday, Sunday, we just kind of go as we would. We make maybe fresh new meals that we haven't ever tried before. A lot of the times if we're going to meal prep something, we know it's going to be good because we're going to be eating it for 5 days in a row. So sometimes we take a risk, but most times we'll try them out on a Saturday or a Sunday. And that's really fun to just kind of cook and play around with things. So then on Sunday, typically Sunday, we'll cook all of our meals for the week. Typically we'll prep 3 per day, so 15 meals each person total. We've kind of got it down to a science now. It might take between 1 and 3 hours, depends on what we're making, how involved it is. There's certainly things you can do to make it faster. You could use a crock pot, you could use an oven, you could cook 1 meat in the crock pot, 1 in the oven, 1 on the stove, boom, all your proteins are done. You could utilize something like a rice cooker. You could use the oven for baking some sweet potatoes. There are many things, but it's really just a trial and error sort of deal. You're gonna have to try it out and you'll get more efficient every single time you do it. In terms of my daily schedule, typically I'll wake up at like 5:15. I'll have my first meal at around 5:45. From there, I'll go work and then I'll work out around 7:30. At 9 o'clock, I've typically wrapped up my workout, so I'll have meal number 2. From there, I'll have another meal, probably around noon. Remember I talked about how important it is to space out your meals evenly. I know personally if I do not do that, if I miss a meal in the evening I get really hungry, and sometimes it's like uncontrollable hunger. Like I eat something and I feel like I can just keep eating something. Pretty soon I'm eating a whole jar of peanut butter. So I need to make sure I control my hunger throughout the day. That really pays off in the evening. So again, meal number 3, I have that around noon. I'll have meal 4 at around 2 p.m. It's about an hour before my second workout of the day, or if I'm not working out for 2 workouts in that day, I might go for something like a walk, or sometimes I might just lay on the couch. But I give myself about an hour of time to digest that meal so I feel good during the workout. So again, workout number 2 or a walk might happen around 3 o'clock. Get done from that, maybe have dinner around 5 p.m. and then have my before bed meal at around 8. If you eat right before bed, I don't think it's an issue. There was a myth kind of in the past that eating before bed made all that food get stored as fat. That's just completely wrong. If you're eating a surplus of calories, sometimes they found that people were consuming more than they needed at night. So maybe you're watching TV and you're just munching on something. You're eating chips, you're eating ice cream. Now you've stayed up really late. You don't really need any more calories, but you're kind of bored and you want to eat something tasty. So I kind of try to limit myself to that 8 p.m. time for the final meal. And if I go over that, I want to have a good reason. Maybe I'm starving and I just really need something. I'd probably try to go for an apple or something like that. Then I go to bed at 9. So guys, I hope some of those tips work for you, whether it's just the basics, which I think are the most important. We should be working on those all the time. Maybe otherwise use some of the other strategies, or maybe you can look at my routine and get something out of that as well. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and see you soon.